Hey guys, what is up? What is up? Hope everybody is having a good evening. Just wanted to pop back on here for a few minutes and do another little live show here. I got some stuff going on right now. I just figured I'd bring it to you guys before morning gets here. And yeah, hope everybody's doing well. Been kind of off and on here a little bit for me today. Yeah, so you guys doing okay? I'm seeing some yeses, nos. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for being here. Anyway, we got some earthquake stuff going on. And I really want to put this out here because it's actually kind of strange a little bit from what I'm seeing. Our magnetosphere, like I showed you guys earlier, is really taking some crazy looking little hits, and there's really no explanation for it. There's nothing really. Nobody I've been watching here lately has said anything at all about any kind of I don't know, some sort of a magnetic event or something that would be coming from a coronal hole, like a solar wind stream or a CME or anything like that, right? Or a solar flare. And I'm not seeing anything on any of the tools. But our magnetosphere is definitely reacting to something. So, we can't rule out the possibility of a stealth solar storm or something that was that they just didn't see. But we're going to go through this a little bit here real quick. Before we do this, though, I do want to take you guys over to I want you guys to watch something. It's like a 30-second thing. And it's a friend of the channel's friend of mine. Okay, he is most definitely having some issues right now. And he didn't ask me to do this. I'm just going to go ahead and show it because I think that, and most of you guys are going to know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Hopi. Okay, Hopi NG. He's been part of our community, for a very long time. And this is his channel. And he's got a lot of stuff going on, right? He used to be a first responder. And I can tell you this, guys, we had lengthy conversations because right before all of the... good to see you there, Brandy from Australia. Awesome. So, I can tell you from having personal conversations here with Opie, right before, the COV, the big global illness hit, he was trying to ask my opinion and my advice on starting up a food source for people that couldn't afford, just trying to help out, and how we could go about doing that. I've been involved running some baseball programs and things, so I'm fairly familiar with like an LLC and all that goes along with that. And it's very complicated sometimes. It gets to be pretty much a big hassle. But that's what we were talking about, and that was what he really wanted to do. He was pretty passionate about it. And, he's having some problems himself right now. And obviously, guys, I know, at least for me, it's hard for me to even tell somebody when I'm having issues. So that he's really, really struggling if he's going to do this. So I'm going to play this video for you guys. It's 38 seconds. So please just kind of entertain me here for a minute. I'm not sure if it has sound. So yeah, guys, that was quick, and I just wanted you guys to see that because, we got to be able to, when we need help or we need assistance in any sort of way, we got to be able to let our pride just go, especially when our kids are involved. And so I know that was not easy for him to do that. He doesn't take this stuff lightly at all. He's a very passionate guy. He is, he's really well researched on a lot of the stuff that he talks about. And he's just an all-around good guy with a family. All right. And he's getting, he just said it like it is. He's getting evicted from his house. And don't get me wrong, guys. We're all going through issues, right? And he knows that too. But that just kind of adds to the fact that he doesn't like. I guarantee you, it was hard for him to hit that, upload button. And so that's exactly where I'm at with that with him. So, if you guys know Hopi, or if you don't, or whatever, if you guys want to help out, I'm sure it would be much appreciated. I'm just doing it as a friend to, put it out there that he does need some help. If you, like I said, if you can, do. If you can't, don't, because he wouldn't want you to if it was going to affect you in a bad way. Okay? So, we're going to move on from that, but I wanted to put that up front and first before I forgot about it, because that is something that it bothers me. It hurts my heart to see somebody that, one of my friends struggling like that. And so, at some level, it's almost a friend's responsibility to try to do their best to at least make it known. And whatever help you can get, I'm sure, is appreciated. So, but please, guys, don't feel like you have to. Don't feel obligated. That's the first thing I always say, because nobody wants anybody to give anything that they can't do that's really going to affect them. So, that's what I would say. So we'll move on. Anyway, guys, earthquakes. Hey, Tulika. Maria Davis, how you doing? How you doing, Carrie? Anyway, we got these earthquakes, and they started popping off. Now, if you guys see the settings here, I got it on 1 day, 2.5, right? So we're seeing everything from today, last 24 hours, at 2.5 or greater. Now, let me change this to 4.5. What's all magnitudes? Let's just do 7 days, 4.5. Now, you're seeing right there is really the thing that is concerning a little bit. I wouldn't call it concerning. It's just it's an uptick in activity. But I was sitting here, and within like 4 hours, not even 4 hours, there was like 4 or 5 earthquakes that popped off. Like over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, and it was all around 4.5 to 5. You guys can see them right over here. Okay, look, since, let's go right about, let's start here on the 22nd. Right about 1800 hours, or even 16, right here. You see that? That's what, 4 o'clock, 4:15? That's Eastern. If you want to know UTC on that, just add 4 hours to it. But you got these 4 right here. Now, where are they located? Well, let's find out. That one there is located way down here. All right. Now, yes, it's on a fault line. I get that. And then they had another one. Actually, that one was first, and that one would have been the second one. And most likely, obviously, guys, those are related. I mean, they're right on top of each other. Now, if you want to know depths on that, the 10 kilometers is a default that it goes to until they figure out. Yeah, so you figure out how to get, let's see here, so they figure out what the depth is. Sorry about that. So yeah, so you got that going on, and you got these 2 right here, and this one's here, and then this one is here. So it's all kind of right here. The past those 4 are. Now let's look at what we got underneath it, which was earlier in the day here. So everything seems to be like right in this area right now. And we're talking 4.5 to 5, 5.2, right? So How you doing, Louise, if that's how you say it. Lance, how you doing? But yeah, everything's falling apart like a cheap toaster. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, so over here we got this one. That's about a 5. That's a 5.3. And again, guys, these are all within the past week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the settings again. We're going to go to this one now. If you guys remember last week, we had a decent sized one over here in London. Well, they had another one. Now my guess is that it is most certainly probably related to all. It's probably been ongoing, just small little tremors, and now they had a decent one earlier today. Well, I guess it would have been almost 24 hours ago now. So yeah. So what's causing this, right? And we've been noticing this, at least I have. I've been observing this, these little, like, oh, let's see here. What can I call this? I would call it like an outburst of, or an uptick, or whatever you want to say, of these earthquakes. Like, they would come in groups, and then they would back off. Come in groups and back off. Now, there's one here that I haven't shown you guys yet. This one. That's a 4-1. That's off the coast of Washington, okay? Now, you guys know, anybody that's been in this community for any length of time at all already know where I'm going with this. Okay, that's the Cascadia subduction zone. It's right in it. So, anytime something at all is going on over here, we take notice. Now, that's a 3-3 there. That was earlier. Well, that was about 6 o'clock this evening. This one happened at, that would be, 9:30. Then you got 2 smaller ones right here, okay? Nothing really to write home about as far as the strength there. But, when stuff is going on right here, we really, all of us kind of perk up and be like, well, oh my gosh, let's pay attention to that. Especially when you see multiple ones not right on top of each other. They're kind of spread out a little bit. Even though they're in the same area, they're still spread out more than what, yes, these are all related probably. It's probably energy transfer going down through these plate boundary lines and stuff like that. But if they're not like stacked on top of each other, like, I'm sure there's some in here somewhere, like right here. Okay, you see how you like a little swarm? Those most definitely are from the same quake. Okay, the same initial quake. That's what's going on there. It's a small little swarm. It's not nothing to really be concerned about or anything. I'm just showing it to you. But then again, you got this one. There's another one at 4 point. That's a 4.7. So all the way up and down the west coast of North America, all the way down through South America, all the way to the South Pole. Close to it, I should say. Down to the Antarctic, down here in this South Shetland Islands, okay? I really think that these are all related. I mean, that's where the majority of the quakes are happening right now, so you can see that. If we back off and just look at the globe altogether, that's what we'll do here. I know you can see more than just one globe here, because there's Australia, right? So I'm zoomed out a little too far. But if you look right here, the majority of them are right there. So what's causing it, right? Is it just normal stuff, or is there something going on that can cause it? Well, we're taking hits again on our magnetosphere, guys, that nobody has any explanations for, other than what I talked about earlier today with the BZ. So let's go over here and we'll check out the space weather conditions, because this is where we always got to start, because this is something that we just get our bearings by looking at this graph, okay, by looking at this data. So solar X-ray flux, okay, it's actually kind of back down a little bit. Even though the active areas come more Earth facing, the X-rays have kind of died down just a touch. Not all the way, because it was way down here. And really, we like it up in here for radio operators. That's what they want. They need some of this energy and stuff to help propagate their radio. Communications become way more reliable when there is some energy out there. So then we go look at the geomagnetic activity. And we are, we were down here in the basement. So coming up to number 3 from the basement, it's not a huge deal, but it's significant enough to say, hey, what's going on with that? That could be just a very, very little hit of any sort. But then the next thing we got to do, guys, is go down here and check out the data points. So we're going to look at ACE. Is anybody seeing anything there? I'm not. Everything is like straight across the board. Except for the phi angle. It's kind of moving a little bit, but this isn't nothing crazy. The BZ, like I talked about earlier, guys, is now back to almost neutral. Back here, when it was in the negative, then we could blame the BZ for the magnetic hits we were taking. It does take some time for the energy to transfer from the sun to here. So there could be a residual, time lapse there of what's going to happen. It could be a delayed effect. And that might be what we're seeing here. But even at that, it's still back to nominal conditions. This is the typical blackout area we get with no data from the satellite. Okay, so don't worry about that. And this thing just updated again, so you can see how the readings are starting to come in. Now these first initial ones, after it comes back from that line of sight blackout that it has, they're going to be jacked up. These aren't going to be correct. All right, they're always all over the place. Okay, they're never correct when they first come back online like that. If we look at the temperature, guys, I mean, look at this. It's just all straight right down the middle, like almost perfect conditions, you would say, geomagnetically and solar weather-wise. But yet we're taking hits, or something's going on. And to add to that, here's the Enlil model. Okay, we are right here in time. So the predictive models that they're using is saying that we should be in very, very normal conditions right now. So what's going on, right? And I know I haven't showed you the magnetosphere models yet, but let's do that now. And that's what you're seeing there on my thumbnail. That's why I put it there. Because this is what's kind of nuts. I'm seeing some pretty crazy looking stuff here, guys. Okay? So you got to ask yourself a question here. What is causing this if everything, all the data points we're looking at are normal? Okay? We've taken big hits before, and the magnetosphere never acted like this in a few of those situations. Yes, it has acted like this. That's not what I'm saying. Maybe I worded that wrong. We've taken big hits for our magnetosphere to kind of fend it off a lot better than what it is now. That's a better way to put it. So, I'm left to wonder what's going on. Because, earlier today when I did my video, remember I was showing you how this was starting to mirror this? And all this energy was creeping around here. And you can see up here that it's kind of almost like it's getting sucked in right there. And I showed you that on the pressure map yesterday, or today also, how we had that like little ripple effect. Well, we're getting it on this model too. So I know it's not a fluke. Let me zoom in here so you know what I'm talking about. You see these little, what look to be like ripples of wave action type of stuff? What you're seeing there is a difference in density or temperature. We can call it a whole lot of things on this particular graph, but you can see how it's stepping up at very, very short intervals. Usually we don't see that. You see how this is all smooth, looking like a haze? That's usually what we see. But over here, that's a clear distinction between different levels of density right here. And then when I zoomed in, I seen this. That's the only spot around the planet that is like that. Okay? You guys see that? So, is it just something, a fluke there too? But then I'm looking at this, and this is all crazy jacked up looking too. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off here again, and we're going to take a closer look at what this is actually, what we're actually seeing here. Guess I'm going to have to back off a little more there. Sorry I got to zoom out like that. I just want you guys to see the whole picture. So, and this is where I start wondering, what in the world's going on. Because you see how it's starting to mimic that again? Right out here? That pressure builds, but where's it building from? And you see how it's kind of like little bursts when we go forward? Remember, the Earth acts like a capacitor. It'll hold energy till it can't hold it no more. And then it has to let it go in some way, shape, or form. So if you guys look at this, look at the time. This is right around the time those quakes were popping off. So, I'm left to wonder if this isn't what was actually the straw that broke the camel's back on this. Because look at that. That's intense, guys. That's very intense. So, so yeah. I haven't had a chance to look at the chat there, guys. I hope you guys are doing okay in there. I think I've seen Christine. Are you in there, Christine? Yep, there you are. Thank you. Thank you for coming over and doing this for me. Appreciate it. Yeah. So, you guys be nice in there to Christine, okay? So, yeah. So, we're going to go on through here. Now, look at this. You can clearly see. And what I'm looking at here, and even that even closed up. Now, the dashed line's a satellite line. Now, if we're looking at this, it almost looks like this came up from the bottom. Like up underneath. And it pushed out and was pushing up. Right? Or at least at an angle. Kind of like this. Underneath the planet. Right? So if I go forward again, and it's on, these are try to do it one toggle at a time here. So we go from that, and then 4 minutes later you get that. 4 more minutes, you're back to that. Okay? But check that out. Okay, we're getting some little, I don't know what to call them. And then it's starting to release here again. Notice the clear distinction here. Like there's a void there. And then you can see how we're pushing back out. And look how we're pushing out hard enough that we're actually affecting the strength of this. And it's actually blowing out. Almost like the sun does with the CME. Now, I'm not saying that's what we're doing. I'm saying that the energy that we've collected probably through all this solar weather, and with that sunspot there, or lack of sunspot, active area on the sun, it is, our capacitor got full. That's almost what it feels like to me, okay? And not to mention, if you look over here, look at the darker colors over here. They're kind of mimicking this whole situation. And what I have to say here, guys, you see the bow shock? Everything that's going on here is inside of our magnetic field. Inside our magnetopause. So this is after our protection. You see this? That's our first line of defense, our bow shock. So it's past that. It's inside here somewhere. And it didn't look to come from this direction. Now, yes, we're taking it looks to be like some small activity, but it's not because I just showed you guys all the data. There's nothing there to say that, we've had increased solar wind and density or any of that. And so we go from that to that again. Notice the difference here from there to there, how there's almost a void there again. And then you got this opening back up, like it's almost letting stuff, more density get in that way. Go to that, and then we go to this. This is one of the strangest signatures I have ever seen on this particular graph. So, I mean, I just don't know what to say about this one. This one really has got me kind of puzzled. So we'll go to the next one there. Again, these are 4-minute intervals, right? And now this is what I want you guys to see. Okay, we go from hardly anything, right? There's a little bit of pressure there, whatever, some increased activity. 4 minutes, we go to that. Watch what's happening here. It's starting to push out here. I mean, right in the back. I mean, right behind. It's right there. It's not like it's off to the side or anything like that. This is directly right behind. Goes to that. Now, again, watch what it's doing. It's almost like pushing this way because you're going to see. All right. What does that remind you guys of? I show you guys the CME tracker all the time, right? Let's go check it out. Let me show you something real quick. I actually just thought about that. Where's my CME tracker? Right there. Okay. This is the sun. What is that? That's a CME, right? Look at the shape of it. So keep that in your mind, and let's look at this. Look at that. What's that look like? Does that not resemble what we're saying here? Does that not resemble what the sun does when it has a CME? It most certainly looks like the Earth is letting some energy go off this direction, guys. That's what it looks like to me. And there is a little science to back that up, but there hasn't been a whole lot of, hard science on that to say that that's even what we would be doing. Not to this level. And it's very hard to, how can I say this? It's hard to trust this model 100% because it is one of the older models. You often wonder if our technology and our ability to see stuff is a lot better now. But I'm going to take you over to the newer tools, and they're showing the same stuff, guys. So watch this. So I'm going to keep going forward, and then we see this. Now, that was one of the strangest, oddest looking. I mean, you guys see what I'm doing there, right? That is so strange looking. Yeah. So keep going forward again and see. And now look, this time we're getting some energy this way. Now overall, if you look at this, it's an uptick in energy. That's why the whole thing isn't the darker blue. You're seeing the lighter blues because it's more intense. So, okay, let me go back here. Now remember, when I go forward, the solar wind's coming from the right. The sun's over to the right. So anything moving from left to right is typically not what we see. We shouldn't really be able to push up against the solar wind like this if it's going to be pushing that way. So I'm going to go forward. Watch. Now, and something else that's kind of crazy about this, guys, is there's no missing time. I went through and checked it. We might miss a frame here or there, but not this. This is not jumping time. This is like concurrent. Every 4 minutes is what we're getting. So we get that, and that resembles kind of what I showed you a minute ago, right? Let me go forward again. And did you guys see that? Now watch this whole situation, which was going directly this way, now kind of tilts up. See that? Like we started pushing harder on this end. Like it moved it. And look how it's splitting. This was something, the strangest thing that I've seen on this tool ever. We've seen some crazy looking holographic signatures like old Egyptian stuff on one of the models and stuff before. We've seen some really crazy stuff on here, but this is nuts to watch this energy split like this. It's going off on its own and then bam, right back to what pulled it back to the middle. That's what I want to know. We go from that signature to that in 4 minutes. Really? Then we start again, and then it goes away, and then it does it again. Okay, did you guys see that? That's classic getting energy from this way. So why are the graphs saying that we're not having any increase in activity as far as data points? It's showing us, nothing. Okay, so that's the latest we got there. So let me, I'm going to do that again, and we're just going to watch this for a second. Okay, watch how this stuff is moving this way, and it shouldn't be. You're getting all jacked up, moving around here. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. That way, I'm just going to let it play, and we'll talk about this as we're doing this, because this is really strange to me. Why are we protecting ourselves on the backside like this in the same fashion as on the front? These things are mirroring each other. We're pushing out in all directions. And let me tell you, let's go here for a minute. Guess what? The Earth is doing its job. That's why you don't see this chart going crazy. If it was letting stuff in, bam, this thing would be jacked way up here. So it's really crazy. It really is. Hey Scott, what's up, bud? Glad to see you here. Did you see what I showed there a minute ago, man? Wow. I mean, just check this out, man. I just went through it, scene by scene, but let's run this back again. And I want you guys, I really want to hammer this home, because with the stuff that the conditions we're having right now, we should not be seeing these kinds of things on the magnetosphere. This should not look like this. So we're going forward, and you're see the sides here? We'll go forward again. And then here we go again, where it's, you see how out here in the front, you get almost what looks to be two bow shocks? It's really not. You only got one bow shock, but there's a separation between two different levels of magnetics right there. That's what you're seeing. The particles are a little bit different in density, right? That's why you're seeing the different colors. But look at the backside. It's exactly doing what this looks like. Okay, and then you see that energy here going on out. And then just builds again. Okay, and then we get that. That is just, wow. I really just don't, man, it's just kind of nuts. Hey, Mark, you in there, buddy? Hey, good to see you in here, man. Glad you came over. And look at that. It's just some intense stuff, guys. I mean, wow. It's like I was saying a minute ago, guys. There is no missing time here. So we're going from that to that in 4 minutes. With really no explanation. Because the other data points are not showing us anything. It's not giving us any kind of uptick in anything. And that right there was really kind of an extremely strange thing. Why it took that shape and it's kind of voided in the middle, I have no idea why that did that. I have never seen nothing like that on this tool, ever. So the only explanation I could give you guys, and it's my opinion, you can see this energy kind of splitting here too. And it does, it goes off on its own. And then it gets sucked back in. But it's like I said, guys, I think the Earth is probably gathering so much energy. It's like a capacitor. It holds it till it can't hold it no more, and it has to let it go. And that's why we've seen that, within the course of 3 or 4 hours, multiple 5.4s or 5s and 4.5s in a vast area around the whole globe, pretty much north to south, from the west coast of the United States all the way down to Antarctica. within with just in a few hours. It's just really strange, guys. I know I've said that like 1,000 times. I'm just at a loss when it comes to this this kind of a thing. So what we're going to do, I'm actually going to show you guys something I haven't shown you guys in a while. But this right here is the solar wind map. Now keep in mind, here's the solar wind, but we almost can't take that for 100% true, okay? That one does seem to be a little bit more inaccurate. It's not always, but sometimes I think it picks up some crazy readings somehow. We've seen this thing break 2,000. That's kilometers per second. Just a rough estimate, 400 kilometers per second computes to about 1,000,000 miles an hour. So do the math on that. That's, pretty crazy stuff. So again, guys, you can see right here where it's looking all kinds of strange around our planet. And this thing does go up to like 800 once. But I question it because none of the other data points are showing it on the other tools. Now look at all these arrows. This is the direction of travel for the solar wind. Or I should say charged particles. Because that's what this thing's looking at. It does not know the difference between a charged particle that came from the sun or a charged particle that came out of my butt. I mean, that's what I would say. It doesn't know the difference. All it can tell you is it's a charged particle moving at a certain speed of a certain density. That's all it can say. That's all it can tell you. So, again, from that to that to that, all in about 12 minutes. And again, I'm seeing it, it's like it's directional. And you see it, did you see how that closed up? So as it goes on out, watch it kind of, see how it's kind of broad here on the end? Watch it just do that. And then, I mean, like right behind it, you get another. It just looks, again, it really does look like the Earth is discharging somehow. And these, I mean, the solar wind arrows here are just flopping all over the place. Okay, now did you see that? How that just shot down that way? And look right here. So again, you got different densities here. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Anyway, you got all this stuff, and it looks directional, guys. And so I'm really not really sure what this actually is or what's causing it. Earlier today I was showing you guys this. Back here. Remember the BZ went negative? When the BZ goes negative, it opens the door to a lot more solar energy to come out. Okay? It makes it easier, it makes it, more energy gets out. And I explained that in my last video. So yeah. And then it went back to normal. Now, we don't know as far as data points from here to here on the ACE, right? So we wonder what's going on in that area. But those reactions were happening back in this area too. On part of that model I was showing you. Now I will say this, when this thing is coming back online from being, it couldn't transfer its data because of line of sight, it does look like it went back to negative. That's a pretty decent. It's almost the same from here to here as it was back here. That would be like a -5 right there. And right now the graph's showing you -10 to 10, which is pretty normal. So, it is in the negative right here. That would, point to more activity. Now again, remember, we're here on these predictive models. Why I'm showing you this is neither one of these are at all predicting any kind of hit on our magnetosphere at all. it's still not showing anything. Not even a little hump. I mean, the first little, disruption we see is on the 25th out here. And it's not much of nothing to really talk about. So let's do this. Here's the other magnetosphere model, okay? This is the newer one, right? So already you can tell right here that this is not what it really usually looks like. So as we watch this, you're going to see the same kind of stuff. You're going to see it inside our magnetosphere, and it's going to be directional. It's going to be moving this way, that way. You see how this stuff's happening right behind our planet, even on this one? And the density shows it really well, because that's usually where we see it at. And that's what this is. Something else I noticed on this, as these little, what looks to be small density waves coming, I'm actually seeing like little balls of different densities that close together out in front of us. Usually when we take a solar wind hit, guys, it's one color straight all the way up and down, and it goes all the way through when it hits our magnetosphere. Okay, it's not 4 or 5 different colors in here in that short amount of time. And you can tell how it, it is kind of creeping in here and all that. But that's inside our magnetosphere. Okay? So for that to actually come from that direction would take a lot. So let me pause this. This is what I'm talking about. You see this? I mean, we don't usually see things like that. I've not seen that on this model. I don't know if I've ever seen it that close together. That kind of chopped up. And see, look at this. I can tell you for certain that I've never seen this. Not on this model. So, you take that for whatever that's worth. I mean, it might not be worth a whole lot, but it most certainly is not normal. That's what I can say. And we'll click through here. Is it catastrophic? No, it's not. But it is something different that we haven't seen. At least I haven't. So we go to this one, and this is the pressure model. And again, you're seeing the step down of densities here. Usually it's a nice, smooth looking, hazy look, like a soft light bulb. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do, guys, is I will take you guys over here now and show you what I haven't shown you guys in a while. Where's it at? Right there. Okay. This is a magnetosphere model 2. Okay. This is from Australia. So, we're actually getting a reading from this every minute. Okay, if you look up here where my cursor is, that will be 1 minute each time you see this. And what this line is, it's representing the edge of our magnetic field, which essentially is our bow shock. Okay, this is the point where our magnetic field meets up with the solar wind. That's what creates this anyway. Which is why I say this all the time too. In order for our bow shock or our magnetic field to go down, either the solar wind would have to quit, or our magnetic field would have to go completely away. And we all know that that's not going to happen. If it does, we're not having this conversation. Just saying. The only way the solar wind's going to quit is the sun ain't there no more. And the only way we're not going to have a magnetic field is if the part of the planet inside the core, not really the core itself, but the section right after it, in between, that rotates, is really usually is what's thought to generate our magnetic field anyway. It's actually a big influencer on this, and not enough people talk about that. Everybody goes straight to this out here, coming from the sun. The majority of our magnetic field is there because of the rotation of the material inside our planet rotating. Just like a generator, guys. And that's why we can confidently say that this thing can act like a capacitor, because it can hold it until it can't. So, let me do this. We're going to play this and watch what it does, okay? Oh, one more thing. Remember I said the BZ is the most important thing that we should be looking at, and a lot of us forget to even go there with it. Here's your BZ on this graph. It will actually tell you if it's in the negative or not. And the majority of it on the 22nd and 23rd is in the negative. So let me go back another one here, and we will push play. There it goes. If you watch up here, you can see it go up and down, below, go to positive and negative. But the majority of the time here, it's staying pretty much in the negative, which means that the door is open for more energy to come out of the sun and get to us. Oh, that's okay, Tommy. It really is. You ain't got to be sorry, man. Everybody can have... Guys, please. You're not going to offend me by having some different idea of what's actually going on. Okay? So don't be sorry. I come to my knowledge by how I've come to it, and you come to yours by how you came to it. It's okay to have a different opinion. Usually when we have a different opinion, I try to have, like, if I'm going to have something that's a little way off of what most people think, I try to have something like data and stuff to show people. That way they don't, come all crazy glued off on me or anything like that. But, there's a lot of theories on what's actually generating our magnetic field, just like Tommy said there. Okay? There is. There's a lot of stuff that could be different. We've never been able to drill down to our core. At least that's what we've been told. So, how can we really 100% know exactly what's going on? Well, the short answer to that is we can't. It's that simple. But, yeah. So let me play this again. And this one is really good because when this I've shown it to people that's been with my channel for a while. We've had stuff happen where this bow shock actually would go off the page. Okay? So let me explain why. When we get hit with solar wind up here, right? It's coming from the sun. It hits our bow shock, right? It compresses our magnetics. What are we doing? Well, we're pushing out against it. So when we win that battle for that short amount of time, we actually expand out way far. It's called compression and rapid expansion. It'll expand out real far, and then it will come back to normal fairly quickly, within minutes most of the time. Okay? So that's what happens when it comes to that. Now, when we see it way out here for an extended period of time, yeah. Now, I explain it like this, guys. I had uncles and stuff growing up, and we would wrestle around, doing what boys do, right? Or even girls. And he would stick his hand out and put my head on the palm of his hand while I was trying to get to him, and I couldn't get to him. And so what happens is, when he decided he wanted to let go and step to the side, what happens? I lunge forward real far, and I fall. That's exactly what's going on here. We have to push hard to fight it off, and then when we win that battle, we lunge forward further than what our typical position is, and then it recovers back, usually very, very quickly, back to the same position. This is a very normal looking position for this. Which brings me to question again, where is this stuff coming from? And why? So, hey Brian, what are you talking about there? Hey Rip, you're in here? Hold on a minute. I gotta do something, guys. Just hold on 1 second. Bear with me here. That's what I was waiting on. Glad you're in here, man. You should have a wrench here in a minute, bud. So anyway, that's what's going on with this. And, as far as anything else that's going on with the earthquakes and stuff, I think it is related. I think sometimes when we're doing that, releasing our energy, it most certainly can make things move, I would think. And to talk about the magnetic field in the core and stuff. A lot of you guys might have seen this, but a lot of you probably haven't either. And that is what the Earth looks like without water on it. You guys ever seen that? Here it is. See that? It's crazy, isn't it? Everybody thinks it's a smooth, like sphere looking thing. Right? It's not. This is what we usually think of, right, when we're looking at it. Or down here, I guess I should say. More this. This is really what it truly looks like. So when everybody heard Neil deGrasse Tyson say that the Earth was oblique, that's the word they use, because it technically is. It's more pear-shaped than it is a round spherical ball. And there's a whole lot of discussions that come in there. The flat Earth thing comes in when we start talking about that. There's a whole lot of questions when we do show these kinds of things. And I've already told you guys, my position on that. I was asked that again the other day. For me, guys, I'm not seeing anything to try to pull me to the side of saying the Earth is flat. I do think everybody's allowed to have their opinion, but for me, no, not for me. So, I hope people understand that. But I'm not going to come at you if you believe that, that's for sure. Everybody's welcome to do that. I would just, the biggest thing for me on that subject, guys, and I'm going to drop it after this subject. I shouldn't even have said any of this, because it is a very, very controversial, very, very passionate, one-sided thing on both sides. It gets very, very heated very, very quick. For me, I would have to see a working model that explains a whole lot of things. And they just simply can't do that. Not to mention they used a laser gyroscope, and it measured a 15-degree movement up here of rotation, and that's very, very, it's right on the number when you talk about the speed of the Earth rotating. It did exactly what the globe model should do. So it was 2 or 3 different data points coming together, confirming each other. And I've not ever seen anything like that on a flat Earth model. So that's where I'm at with that. And I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I don't want to get into that big kind of a... It's a really, really passionate conversation on both sides. So, anyway. I thought you guys would be interested in seeing that right there. So let's go over here to space weather. Now, we've been talking about these NEOs, right? The near Earth objects. I want to show you guys something here again. I can't remember what day it was on. But anyway, they had to add some more because they discovered some more. Now, I know everybody's talking about this one right now. Okay? A 0.1 is extremely close. It's a lunar distance. So the distance from here to the moon. And it's a 0.1. It's 10% of the distance to the moon. I think it's, what's the moon? 238,000 miles or 268? Something like that. So it'd be like 20-some thousand miles away. It misses us. Now, we had that one a while back, about a month ago, that came even closer, actually set a record. This actually said 0.0. It was inside a 0.1. So that is something that, yeah. You guys buffering? I can shut some stuff off here. Let's go ahead and I'll kill that one. Okay. Yeah, I can kill that one too. I'm done showing that. Okay. Well, if I just seen somebody in there saying they were buffering. Okay, cool. Just trying to make sure everybody's getting to see everything that I want to show, because I do think that what we're seeing right now, guys, is odd. Here's the other model I didn't show you guys yet. The spaghetti string model here isn't really showing a whole lot right now. Okay, I've seen it look so much more crazy than that. But what's got me right now, guys, is this one, obviously. That is definitely something I didn't really expect to see. I showed a little bit of it earlier today, but it wasn't to this extent, number one. And number two, I had an explanation for it. Now I don't. So I'm not really quite sure what's going on with this. It could be our object out there having an effect, on what's going on. I do think it compounds things for a whole solar system. So what we'll do, we'll watch this for a second. Now remember what I said about maybe a stealth solar storm? Sometimes that happens. This thing will, the face of the sun, it's very hard to see things coming right off the face of the sun facing us, right? Because the sun's the background. There is no black of space to give us a contrasting color, so we can see it better. That is the reason they use different filters, because those filters on the extreme ultraviolet, which is what you're looking at here, and this is the 171 angstrom. And when they say that, the 171 angstrom is part of the light spectrum, and different gases show up in different parts of the light spectrum. That's why we can't see this stuff with our naked eye. And they're able to understand more of what kind of gases and stuff are out there at what levels, and we see a lot more using those filters. But this thing here, yeah. But I went through this particular capture here, this time lapse, and went in really, really close all the way around the sun, and I didn't see anything. And what I did was I went back 5 days and was trying to look at it, because that's what it would take. It would take between 3 to 5 days for it to get here if it was a stealthy solar storm. I'm not sold that it is. I don't really think that it is, because I didn't see anything. I don't know where all this crap's coming from. And something else I want to point out here, guys. I noticed this a minute ago, and I really wasn't going to say anything, because we simply don't have no data on it right now. But look over here. Watch what happens when I grab this slide bar. See that right there? Watch what it does right there. That's a CME, guys. Okay? We don't have any data on it. No other tools are showing it right now, but that's a CME. It's blowing off the surface right there. Actually, let me zoom in. Okay, so watch right in here. See that? And it looks like it's going to punch on through. I don't think the sun's going to recapture that. Now, I've seen way bigger stuff there, but this one isn't done yet. You can see it pulling back here too. And this isn't coming at us. This is most definitely off that side of the sun. We can't even see the stuff underneath it. So when this does, if the CME tracker does catch it, it will be going, to the right, but it will also be going towards the backside, away from us. So I just thought you guys would want to see that. I didn't see it until just a few minutes ago when I was showing you guys the other one. So let's go ahead and show you guys this one. This is the 304. All right. This is the one we look at when we're looking at like filaments And typically we don't see these big bright areas on this particular one. So that tells you that that's intense. Now there is no sunspots underneath that. That's what we would probably consider a coronal prominence. A very active area of the sun that doesn't have proper sunspots. So watch down here where this thing happens here at the end of this time lapse. Okay, you seeing that right there? Watch this little... See that? That's a little CME. Now, it's not nothing big, but it most certainly is doing something. So, that being said, let's look up here for a second. We're talking about all these near-Earth objects, right? Well, check this out. They actually caught northern lights or aurora on a comet. So what does that tell us? I think the biggest thing that most people probably don't realize is that these, especially the bigger ones, they will have some sort of a magnetic field. So when its magnetic field actually interacts with the solar wind, it does exactly what it does here on our planet. It creates an aurora. That's what you're seeing there. Okay? And it shows you here what's actually going on. I'm not going to go into detail with that because we know what auroras are. So what's that mean for us? Well, it just gives us a better understanding of what a comet actually is. Or even just an asteroid if it's rotating the right way. So, and I think they even say in this article that even though it's odd that we've seen it, it's not odd that it happens. We just happen to be in the right place at the right time with the right tool. That's why we caught it. So yeah. Hey Ashley, how you doing, girl? I ain't seen you for a while. You hanging in there? Hope you're doing good. All right. So, excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Give me a second. I gotta take a drink. Man. Okay. So, Rip. What's up? Doing okay, bud? Ashley, how you guys doing in here? I haven't even looked at this chat for a while. Is anything going on? We all good? Yeah, I think I said it before. I can't remember if I said it tonight or not. But, you know, oh my gosh. Excuse me, guys. My leg was cramping. I had to stand up for a minute. So as far as like the new moderators and things like that, cut them some slack right now. You know, they're just trying to get their bearings. You know, I already told everybody in my previous video what the rules were. As long got mods, if they're attacking me, just let it stay. It's fine. It's okay as long as it's not vulgar, like that one I seen earlier. Where did I see that one at? So yeah. Anyway. Oh, okay. Well, my God. Oh, got issues in there, huh, guys? I just now seen it. Again, guys, just you know, I want people to be able to have their voice, okay? And that's my, you know, I really want that. You know, I understand. I get it. I get if it gets vulgar, most definitely take care of it for me, please. But if it's just like the disagreement or actually attacking me, as long as they're not attacking somebody else, that's all I really care about. Okay. I want to kind of, I do that for a reason, because I tend to be able to reach more people that way. If I'm able to just to let that stuff roll off my back, you know, and it's hard, and I get it. I'm very protective. Like when I'm a mod over on Scott's channel, and man, I hate it when people are in there, you know, trying to bash him, and you know, I usually, you know, take care of it that way. We haven't had much problem with that lately, though. Thank God. There was a time there where we couldn't hardly even get on a live stream without just having 25 mods in there booting half the people out. It got really bad for a while. It just got really, really, really strange. So yeah. Oh, I think I'm not really sure, guys. I'll have to go back and look at the chat, Scott. I mean, I ain't had time to look at it. Oh, were you, Christine? Okay. No, that's what I'm trying to say, guys. If you know, if you attack somebody, expect a consequence. I mean, that's just what it has to be that way, guys. Attack me all you want, okay? But just don't, you know, go at each other. That's all I ask. Seriously. Okay. So, what else do I got to show you guys? Let's do an upgrade here on, or a update on the earthquakes. Well, there was another one, it looks like. Of course, those are fracking operations, guys. When we start seeing them in that area of Texas and stuff. Yeah, I mean, guys, I get it. I really do. I'm going to try to, you know, my best to make sure that, you know, the mods are taken care of also. And that's my, like I said earlier in my earlier stream, I'm going to back my mods, and if there's an issue, then, you know, we can talk about it and fix it. But obviously I can't do that while I'm on stream. I just would be boring everybody to death. I'm trying to figure out what's up. Plus it's drama, and anytime there's drama, it always, you know, takes away from this, what we're trying to actually look at. So that's why I try to do it that way. But let me reiterate something too. I'll back my mods 100%. But the reason I let them attack me is because 9 times out of 10, when they do that, we can go back in like 3 weeks and show what they said, and it ends up being wrong. That's why, I mean, it really is. It's amazing how that happens. But there isn't really any reason to be personally attacking anybody or anything like that. You know, I get it. It's a very passionate thing. I'm not sure what it was even about. I hope it wasn't about that, the flat earth thing I brought up. I don't typically talk about that stuff. I don't like to, because it's very, very polarizing. People get in fights, arguments. So that is what it is. And that's the other thing too, guys. I think you guys, the majority of my subscribers, even though they might argue or get mad at one another, even with the mods and stuff, I think that, you know, they'll be able to work it out and be okay. That's my hope anyway. I really hope that. I don't want anybody to be unhappy when it comes to stuff like that. We got enough stuff to struggle against. We don't need to struggle against each other. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Trying to see if I'm forgetting anything here. This is something else I want to say, okay? You see this over here, guys? The sunspots? I already mentioned this before. You got 33 days. No sunspots. But they're not taking in consideration that that's activity. So this isn't really representative of how active the sun is. Not as accurate as what it could be. That, and we have no idea what's going on the backside. We don't know if there's any sunspots back there. So, you know, just because they're not Earth-facing doesn't mean that that stuff isn't going on. As a matter of fact, there's a known phenomenon that when things get right in front of us, they weaken. We've seen sunspots just disappear a lot of the time. We've seen filaments, you know, coronal holes closing up, all that kind of stuff is, And for whatever reason, when it gets right in front of us, a lot of times that's what it'll do. Not always, but they've actually done studies on it, and it does it more so when it's facing Earth than on other parts of the sun. I just wish they would change this part of it somehow. Change the data collection and the modeling to include stuff like this when we're talking about the activity of the sun, because it's important. This here, if this blows off with the stuff I just showed you on our magnetosphere right now, that, you know what I'm saying? People let their guard down when they say stuff's inactive. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. But if we get this, I'm still trying to figure out what in the world's going on with this. I know I got quiet here for a minute, guys, but I'm really trying to. This has really got me puzzled. None of the other models are showing any of this crap. Why are these other ones? Something else here we'll talk about real quick. You see this big old coronal hole? That's a significant coronal hole, guys. If that thing holds together, even this one here, see how this is connected to the northern coronal hole? We most likely we're probably already connecting to this. The energy hasn't got here yet. It'll take it 3 to 4, maybe 5 days to get here. But then this here is right behind it. Now remember, you got the equator of the sun, and the Earth sits just kind of to the south. But our connection to the sun kind of varies, and it moves around a little bit. So when these coronal holes open up and then get close, sometimes we'll connect right to that, and that's where the solar wind streams come from. Okay? Remember what I said, you got the sun, and then you got the Earth. You draw a line between them. That's our connection. The particles actually follow that, and they spiral down that line all the way to here. They're charged particles. That's essentially the difference between regular gas and plasma. Regular gas isn't charged. Plasma is. So that's the difference in those 4 states of matter. Obviously you got solid, liquid, gas, and then, plasma is the 4th one. So we got this going on, guys, and that's going to be something significant. So, yeah. When it gets here, man, when these coronal holes get up here, this is what I would expect right here. So whatever that's worth, guys. I'm probably going to go ahead and end it here, guys. It is getting kind of late. I'm going to try to get a few hours sleep before the sun comes up anyway. What did I have here? Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. One more check on the earthquakes here, and then we'll let it go here. So yeah. So guys, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Is that a coronal hole? Yeah. That's a coronal hole. You asking that? I forgot to ask you. You guys got any questions? I'll try to answer them as best as I can before we get off here. Yes, that was a coronal hole. And I tell you what I can do real quick while you guys are thinking about questions. Let's look at the purple one. This one here is the 211. And this one typically will show more of a hole than probably what's actually there. It tends to show a bigger hole than actually what we're actually seeing. Okay, so you can see all the darkness here on this. It is representative of where the dark areas are. That's not what I'm saying. The 193 is usually a better one to use because it's a little bit more accurate, and that's what you're seeing here. Also, if you guys go over to ISWA, you can go back to, is it here? They got tools here you can look at. It's just I'm not sure exactly how accurate they are. Like right here is a coronal hole one. Let's look at it. And it's showing that one I just showed you guys. See that? How it's outlined it? That CH means coronal hole, and then that's the number 1. Okay? So if another one opens up, they'll name it coronal hole number 2. So that's what we're looking at there. I don't usually show you guys this because it's easy enough just to say, hey, look, there's a coronal hole right there. I don't need this thing to tell me that. You know what I mean? If it's a small one, maybe. Sunspots too. Sunspot group here. You can look on these if this one is active. It says 8/20 of 17. So, yeah. That was back on August 20th. That's the last sunspot we had. It's been 33 days now, I think. So that's the last one that was Earth facing, and now we got this active area over here that's not showing any sunspots at all. Here's the filament ones. We talk about filaments too, and this will show you filament stuff too. It says number 1. I think this here is usually there anyway a lot of the time. You can see a little filament over here. But again, guys, notice, look, right where the Earth's at, nothing's going on. So, you know? So, yeah. Let's, you guys got any questions for me, guys? I just realized he called you brother earlier, so it's Mark and Mark. Wasn't that confusing? Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, man. You guys still in there fighting? Man. I wish, yeah. I guess my suggestion would be, can we just agree to disagree and I guess move on from it? I don't know exactly what happened. I haven't read through it yet. But yeah, so yeah. Let's see here. What we got? I'm not going to read that chat yet, guys, because it looks like people are fighting in there. It's what I don't want. But, one more update on the earthquakes, and we're going to call it a day. So, guys, I do appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, again, guys, let me reiterate this, okay? It is 100% okay to disagree, okay? But when it becomes like personal or vulgar, and sometimes things are misunderstood too, I get that, all right? And my guess is if I go back through here and read that, that's probably what happened, you know, and then people get heated and things go off the rails. Then you start saying and doing things you typically wouldn't. You know, I haven't read any of that. I don't really even want to talk about this because it's drama, you know. But, so with that being said, I really hope everybody can get along, you know. I don't want anybody to be unhappy. But just, yeah, just try to abide by, you know, and if you think you are abiding by the rules and all that kind of stuff, you ain't got nothing to worry about because I'll fix it if it's wrong. So, anyway, I just know what it's like to go to other channels, have a different opinion, and put it in the chat, and then without even asking a question, you just get booted. That sucks. That's why I was just, you know, because a lot of times, guys, you know, that's why there's like a 3 chance thing going on here, because I want to make sure that it ain't just trolling. If it makes it to that 3rd step, that's trolling. At least with me. And again, you can come at me all you want. Just try to be, you know. I don't think anybody is intentionally hurting anybody's feelings. I get, you know, I know Christine's in there doing the best she can, and you know, Mighty Mark has been a friend of the channel for a long time, and yeah. So I think that probably it's, yeah. Gosh, guys. All right, well, when's the sunspot coming into view, Wages? Okay, let me show you that real quick. That's a good question. It's here, okay? It's into view right here. You see that? But it's not a true sunspot because it's not giving us any indication of what's underneath it. There is no proper cores underneath this thing to call it a sunspot. So that's where we're having the issue, and that's what I've been talking about, that, you know, this increased energy is activity on the sun, but they don't count that. The only thing they're looking for is sunspots to judge the activity for data collection. They need to they need to do something here and fix that modeling in that sense, because it needs changed. So, yeah. Is there energy coming from behind the Earth? Taylor, that is a very good question. And let me say this on that. And I know, you know, as I've been starting to do these live streams, I hope you guys can tell that when I do my edited videos, I'm the same person. You know, when you guys ask me questions right here on the fly, I ain't trying to make nothing up. And it's exactly what I do with my videos. So you're going to hear my point of view on what's going on. It might not, you know, be, you know, in line with what somebody else might be thinking, but it is my point of view, you know. As far as stuff being back here, that close, all that kind of stuff, like big, huge objects right there, you know, for me, I don't think so. Now, can energy come back this direction from out here? Yes, it can. Okay? There's a whole lot of things that can cause that. You know, we talk about cosmic rays all the time. Right? Where are those coming from? They're coming from the cosmos. Most of the time, from outside our solar system. And when the sun's in a weakened state like it is now, more of those get through. It basically does, the sun does for our solar system what the Earth does for our magnetic field. It's the same thing. It's just the sun stretches out, it even protects Pluto at some level. So when the sun's in a minimum, and I'm not calling it a grand solar minimum because it's not. We have to understand that. You know, the grand solar minimum is, you know, there was a lot of people saying it could have been this sun cycle, but it's not. It didn't happen. So, you know, maybe the next sun cycle, or the one after, or the one after, or the one after, you know, judging historically, yes, we can kind of gauge it. But every once in a while, guys, even with, you know, historic data collection, it's wrong. So I guess what I'm simply saying is that if we go into a grand solar minimum, we're going to know when we get there. There's going to be enough precursors, and it's going to be a lot more severe than what we're seeing right now. That's my point. We have to see a few other things happen before we see any of these big things to happen. You know? And again, that is what it is. But back here, yeah, the energy that comes from behind, there's a lot of theories on what's going on with all that. For me, you know, most of the time when we see this backside energy, like on this one, like if we see something like that, usually we can relate it to something that came from the sun side first. Remember, this is two-dimensional model. Let me show you this. Where's it at? there? Nope. It's not in there either. Where the heck did it go? I had it in there somewhere. Anyway, I've shown it to you guys before what the magnetosphere looks like three-dimensional. Okay? It's almost like a donut. So we always got to keep that in mind when we're looking at this model. Or any model that's two-dimensional. Yeah. Rip, that's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. You know, I don't claim to be any kind of whatever, you know. And you're probably never going to hear me put dates on things because, you know, the biggest reason I don't there is, you know, I have my opinions when things are going to happen. But I also understand that I can be wrong. So if I'm going to set a date out there, I'm going to have to be 1,000% sure that that's going to happen. Because if it doesn't, I automatically lose any credibility that I had prior to that. That would be the first thing that happened. Not only the embarrassment of being wrong, and then the third thing that could have happened is, based off what I said, people may have adjusted their life in a very severe way because they thought something was going to happen on that day, and then it didn't. It is most certainly like the sky is falling, crying wolf, all that when we're setting dates. You know, we just can't set, we should not be doing that because it's irresponsible. Now, if we're talking about the orbit of something that's known, that's different. That's empirical fact and provable. But when we're talking about something that could, you know, like a catastrophic event happening on a specific day, that's never going to come out of my mouth. I can tell you that. It had me questioning my faith and everything else at some point because I'm just being straight up honest with you guys, you know. I was told since I was 2 that Jesus was coming back tomorrow, you know. And because of that, in my late 20s, I went through a period of time where I was really struggling with what I believed. I'm since past that now. But that's exactly what caused that, because people were putting dates on stuff, and I fell into it, and I was influenced. You know, when we say things, and our teenagers hear it especially, that can affect their whole life. So I would refrain, and I would encourage anybody that has temptation to put a date, a specific date and time on anything, other than like something that's empirical, like the orbit of a planet or whatever. I would strongly discourage people from doing that, because it's not just going to affect you if you're wrong. It's going to affect everybody that you talk to. So, you know. So, yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, gosh. I hope you guys are getting better in there. I think you guys are joking around now. I hope you are. I really do. I love every one of you guys, and it's like, you know, I guess it's like when I see my cousins fight or something like that, you know. It hurts. It hurts to see it. But I knew people, you know, they'll get over it, you know. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Okay. Yeah. That's a good thing, Christine. I mean, you know, that's a good way to put it out there. Mark, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. I'm glad we can, you know, come above that. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Anyway, anyhow. So, you guys got my opinion on a lot of stuff there. I went on kind of a rant. But I really hope you guys go check out everybody's channel. Is my scroll going down there? Oh, no, I didn't even look. Yep, it is. I'm trying to get my setup, guys. Getting it into the, getting it in to be a little bit more professional. I've been doing a lot of research on OBS. I'm sure you guys can see what's going on. And that would be a little bit more of a streamlined, movement of what's happening. I'll just show it to you real quick. This is OBS in case people didn't know. It's the broadcasting software. You have to have something like this to broadcast live to YouTube. There's Streamlabs, there's Zoom, there's all kinds of different programs you can use. But this one here really makes it kind of cool. See, watch this, guys. What'll happen here, can you guys see can you guys see that? Yeah, you guys can see that. So if I wanted to go to a different, say I wanted to go to the same capture you're looking at without the scroll bar, all I got to do is do that and that. Scroll bar is gone. And if I want to go back, just like that. So, yeah. I like showing people that stuff. I think this is cool. And I know that some people aren't really too concerned about the way the things look. I am. And the reason why is because people will take you more seriously when you're trying to do your best to give them the best product that you can absolutely give them. I think more people will stop and look. So I guess to talk about that, I'm not going to be the guy. I've been doing this for 2 years, a little over 2 years now. And when I first started, everybody has to start low. Just using your phone and maybe recording a screen with your phone and all that kind of stuff. But there's free software out there, even for your phone, where you can use screen recording. That's the first upgrade I did to my channel. And then it's just kind of, and Scott has guided me through all of this, trying to make my channel look the best. He made my first graphics I didn't even ask him to do it. He made my first graphics for my channel when I was Blue Kool-Aid. So, he's helped me out a lot here, not just with this, but, guys, I have to say, Scott's in here in the chat. If he didn't take the time to show me what I was looking at and talk me down from the ledge a couple times, I probably wouldn't be here, because I about quit this thing 5 or 6 times. Because things would happen and people would go crazy and I didn't know how to handle it. So I'm a very sensitive person. And that, it's hard for some people to understand. But I had to grow some thicker skin, guys. I did. And I think Scott can attest to that, to me calling him on the phone and talking to him for hours sometimes, just trying to figure out if I even wanted to do this anymore. I give credit where credit's due. I get, even giving Scott a compliment, I get bashed for that sometimes. I'm not going to stop giving credit where credit's due. You know what I mean? People can bash me on that all they want. But when I'm saying that I appreciate somebody, I actually truly mean that. It's like Mark Pyers, guys. Some of you guys are in here from his channel. Some of you guys went over there because of me and because of Scott. If it wasn't for Scott pointing me over there, I wouldn't have known nothing about it. He told Scott's whole audience, I don't know, it's been a few weeks back now during one of his streams, and Scott seen the positivity there too. So that's why he shared it. We don't like to come out here and always show gloom and doom. Matter of fact, it gets rather depressing researching this crap sometimes. And I think that anybody that has researched this subject for any length of time would tell you the same thing. So, we're just doing the best we can. And at some point, you just got to say, hey, that's what I'm doing. And if, people don't really understand that, then I guess they're just going to have to part ways or whatever. But I'm not going to stop giving compliments to people like Mark Pyers that's bringing so much positivity right now that this world needs. And his channel was stuck in a hole for 2 years with nobody seeing it. That makes me sick. In a lot of ways, I think what he's doing is more important than what I'm doing. Because he's actually, it's a positive thing. He's building people up. That's his position in this whole world right now, and he'll tell you that. For me, and like for Scott, it's our job to do what we're doing here. We're here for a reason, and I think it's not an accident. And that's why we come across the people that we do. And I'm telling you guys, you give Mark's channel 6 months, I don't see it being small. I guarantee you that. So, yeah. And again, guys, believe it or not, guys, I got attacked over promoting Mark the other day. I just don't get it. I don't get it when people do that, because I'm just trying to point as many people as I can towards a positive thing. And I'll say this too. People like me and people like Scott and those others that are pointing people over there to his channel, we might be able to get the subscribers there, but they're going to stay there because of him. And then guess what? They're going to start telling people they know. And it's like an Amway tree, guys. It's like a pyramid scheme. It'll just branch out. I'm telling you, it will. The content that I've seen, I haven't belly laughed, and I said this earlier in my other stream. In gosh, 2 years probably. And I was literally belly laughing like 4 times watching him the other night. It was just, it was crazy. Hi Isaiah, how you doing? Isaiah's granny, how you doing? Good to see you here. My name is Mark Wages, W-A-G-E-S is my name. Mark Pyers, P-I-R-E-S. You know what, guys? I'll just take you over there real quick. Oops, don't want to do that. There he is.
I was walking down the
And it's real talk.
looking for another way
To ease my mind.
That's Mark. Now look at him. Tell me you look at him and can't smile? Really? Wow. I mean, he has live streamed for over 630 days now, every day. Let me give him a thumbs up. I forgot to when I was over here earlier. It just, and guys, you guys are doing awesome because you're responding to a positive thing. This right here proves it. You see that number right there? He's been thanking me a lot for doing this, but that's not why I did it. I did it because it is a positive thing, and I wanted you guys to be able to experience that, and he deserved the traffic. That's why. I won't point you guys to a channel or say anybody's name or suggest a channel to you that I'm not going to back. I'm not just going to say it haphazardly. I can still be friends with people, but I don't have to agree with what their channel is doing. And I won't send people to those people's channel, even though I might like who that person actually is. Okay? That's how I do things. And I think if everybody did that, might be a little bit better around here. Just saying. So yeah, it's okay to have a difference of opinion, but if we're talking about positivity, look at that. Look at that guy's face. He's cracking me up. There's I showed it in my earlier stream. Where's his videos at? Where are we at? I need to go to his page. How about that? We'll go over here. And I showed a little clip of this earlier.
And by the way, that Venmo doesn't friggin' work anymore. Hammerlin had to close the account. I was negative on the Venmo account somehow. I don't even know how that to figure it out. They're like, Hammerlin, well, look, we're gonna have to get rid of that account of yours because you're negative $64,327.33. I said, hell, that bond drink that much Jameson? Oh, unbelievable! I said, I'm ripping the lid off the fake news on that one because I don't believe it. I don't believe it. There's no way that old Hammer Jam drank that much Jameson. Maybe about 58,000, but not 61,300. There's no way. Hammer Jam, look, I gotta go now. I gotta go get to my whiskey and to the tap. I gotta hit the tap, people. I'm just coming down like that. Like that. Double-fisted it sometimes. Walking around like a triples. I walked around with 4 last week. Some 2.
So yeah, guys, I mean, that's just crazy, isn't it? It's hysterical. It really is. So yeah, guys, I really hope you guys have a good week, good Wednesday. Hope everybody can get some rest if they can, if that's what they're trying to do. If not, hope you guys have a good, safe day at work. And today is September 23rd, 2020. Yeah, man. See, guys, that's what I'm saying. You know, sometimes that's all it takes to put a smile on somebody's face. It's just to crack a little joke like that, you know? And it just is what it is, you know. I'm glad everybody stopped in. Please, everybody that hasn't went over here to Mark's channel, please go over there and check him out. Give him a subscription and check out a few of his videos. I showed you small little clips here, but it's better. It really is. He really truly believes in what he's doing here, and that's what he's trying to do. So I have nothing but respect for him and for the fact that there's nothing negative about it, you know. So I'll leave it at that. But anyway, guys, God bless. Yahuwah saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.